Hey everybody, Jeffrey here with Max Height Web Solutions. Today I'm going to show you the power of Thrive Theme Builder by emulating the design of another website. And I'm going to show you how easy and quickly you can take a professional website or a professional design that you've found online and emulate it. We're not copying content, we are emulating a design. I have a website that I found that I wanted to see if I can emulate. Can I create a similar look, feel, layout of this website with my own content? So let's dive right in and take a look. So here we are in the website I'm going to emulate. And this is actually one of my favorite sites, one of my favorite hobbyist sites. I am a very avid board gamer. And because of the COVID-19 pandemic, I've been unable to get together with my buds and play board games. So we have all taken to online board gaming. Not quite the same as online video gaming. You're actually playing board games online. It's a great place to go and just kick back and relax and entertain yourself, have some fun with friends online. But the page we're going to emulate is their blog page, which is called their news page and their heading. And I just want to see if I create this background of wood with these sections, with each post has a section. And it's a little raised, it has a little drop shadow behind it, and with the little rounded corners. Comment section you can go to by clicking, and that takes you to a whole nother page. So I don't think we'll actually do that part. And just create this index page where you can see a featured image and then some text. And that's pretty much it. Fairly easy. The date is down there. The number of comments is listed and so forth. So can we create this look and feel? Can we emulate this on our own website in Thrive Theme Builder? So the first thing to do is to get into your WordPress website where you have Thrive Theme Builder installed. I've already created a page, which I'm just calling BGA Emulation, BGA standing for Board Game Arena. It's the name of the website I'm emulating. And I've created that as a draft. I haven't published it. Any point I want to, of course, I can always hit the publish button and it would be live on the internet, but it's just a demo site. All right, so I'm going to launch Thrive Architect. Okay, so we are in our blank page, and now we don't want to add a page block, we want to add a background section. We come over here to the sidebar to add elements to our page. Remember, we're in Thrive Architect, not Thrive Theme Builder, and we take out a background section and we place it on the page. Now, all we have on this page is this background section. If we were to save this and look at a preview of our page, we would see it's just a blank page. There's nothing on it. So this little text here, background section and the lines and everything, that doesn't appear on the page yet. All right, this background section, we want a background image in there. This takes us into our WordPress media library where I've uploaded a background image of wood paneling that I created in Photoshop. It's 2200 pixels by 768, so it's plenty wide enough to fill the full width of our web page. I insert that into the post, and there is our background. Now we can adjust the height of this section. First, we have to apply that background. And then we can go up here to the main options for the background section and set the minimum height to be whatever we want. Okay, it's going to, as soon as we start putting content in here, the height is going to stretch anyway. But one thing we don't want to happen is as this height stretches, as we add content to this section, this is going to reach as tall as it can be without starting to deform or pixelate. So to fix that problem, we can come over here we're still in the background section and come back over to our background style click on the image itself and see that it's set to cover, which means it's going to cover no matter how wide or tall this section becomes, this image is going to get stretched, which we don't want to happen because it may stretch outside of its bounds of resolution. So we want to change that to default. And when we do, we get these other options to repeat so we can tile. So if we click that, we want this to tile vertically. So no matter how tall this section becomes, we're going to get a new tile instead of just stretching this one tile over and over again, or a new image set below it. And we're going to say apply. And now you'll see if I make this section taller, in fact, let me give you, let me show you a better example of this. Let's go back and change back to what we had. Let's say we have it at cover, right? Apply. And we come here to main options and we change the height to really tall. See what happens? It starts to change the width of it as well. And that's not what we want to happen. We don't want the width to change bigger when this gets too big for its height, because we're past the normal height of the image now, because we've stretched it. We don't want that. We want to set this for just some normal height. And then we're going to go back to the background image and we're going to say, this time we're going to change it to default with vertical tiling and apply that. Now, if we go back and change the height, you'll see we get a new tile instead. See, it doesn't change the width now. We get tiling. So that's what we want. Let's save that. Now, what we want to do is put content in here. And remember, the content we're going for is this kind of feeling with these. Each one of these cards is an individual blog post, basically. So we need to pull out an element called post list. So I'm just going to search for post up here. And there is the post list element. And I'm going to drag that out and drop it into the middle of our page background section. And then it's going to give me a pop-up of what style template do you want for your post list template. I'm just going to go, and there's tons we could choose. And I'm going to, none of them look like what I'm going for exactly. So I'm going to just choose this first one up here and click on that. And you see that when it goes in there, it doesn't look anything like what we want. But that's the power of Thrive Architect, is that I can change all of this. So first of all, we see that it's a 3-column layout instead of what we need is a 1-column layout. This is just 1 column of blog post excerpts. So how do I change that? I click on this element, so I get the post list options, the design options in the left sidebar. And then I want to look for under post list. There's several categories here, and you may be in something else, but you want to be in the post list editor. And you're going to change this columns number. I'm going to change that to 1. And that updates. Okay, so already, now we just have 1 column of our post list. Problem is now, we don't have all the text that we want under here. We just have a little tiny bit of text. Why is that? Well, again, we come over here and we look. We have this set for content, number of words, the number of words 12. And we can only change that. We can only go so high with it. If I want to put in 100, I can't even get 100 in there. So I think the limit may be 50 perhaps, something like that. But I want even more than that. What I want is a full-on excerpt or the full text. If I click full text, I'll get the whole text of my blog post in here. Now, the reason I don't have that is because in each of my blog posts, I have a read more tag inserted before the rest of the body of the text. So that's going to show up on each of these, which is fine. It still gives us enough text to work with. So that's good. Starting to take shape. Now the problem is, I don't want this transparency. I want, remember, we want a white background to the postcard. So I need to go back in here and click on the background for the article. If I click on the text area, you'll see this breadcrumb trail up here. And this breadcrumb trail tells me what is nested, what content is nested into what. So I can see that I'm in the text element, which is nested in the post content, which is nested, and that is just this section, but I want the full article. So that gives me this whole article, not every article, just this one. And now if I change the background of that one article, go over here on the side, now that I have the article selected in the breadcrumb trail and click on the color, I can change the color, and there it is. And you see the separation between each article. Each article now has the picture, the title, the excerpt, a read more button. But the background, I think I wanted a little brighter white than that. It's more of a cement. So I'm gonna drag this up a little bit, go for something like that. Nice. All right, so that's good. Now the next thing, we're gonna apply that. So the problem now is that it stretches the full length all the way to the edge. I don't want it to go all the way to the edge. I want there to be a little padding here. Just like in the original we're emulating, there's padding around. It doesn't stretch all the way to the edge. However, their image is also padded, and I think that's where I'm gonna make a change. See, that's what we do. We make changes to the emulation as we're going. We emulate the layout and so forth, but we make little changes because maybe I want this to be a little different. So I go back to editing my design of my blog list template. I do want this image to stretch all the way to the edge. I rather like that. But the text needs to be padded a bit. So how do we do that? We click inside it. Remember, we're still in our editing. We're editing our post list template. And that puts me in the text section, but I want to be up a breadcrumb from that to the post content. If I click that, it selects this whole section that the text lives in. That's what I want. And I want to change the layout and position, and I want that to be padded, and I will lock this padding. And that means if I change one, it will change all 4 of these. So I'm going to change it to 30 and see how that looks. Yeah, I rather like that. So I want to keep that, and that changes all of them automatically. That's the beauty of working in template view, is you change one, it changes all of the rest of the iterations of it. I also need to change the margin for the title to 30 as well. I need to change the margin of the button. The read more button needs to also be 30. And so now it's starting to take shape. So yeah, I like that padding there with the image stretching the full width of the card. But now we need to round the corners of the card, because that is what we're emulating. We kind of like that. We also need this drop shadow effect that's happening that gives it a lifted feeling. So let's make those changes. Now we need to be in the full article for that. And we're going to change the borders and corners so that, and I have the choice here to round the whole thing, and I think I will. I could have the option of just rounding the bottom 2, but I'm going to round the whole card. And let's go to a 10 and see how that looks. And see, I've got rounding now on the corners of the whole card. So that's good. And it changes all of the cards. And now I need the drop shadow. So let's click on shadow, and we're still in article view. And I'm going to add not an inner shadow, but a drop shadow. And there's my drop shadow, just like that. Now, if I think it's too much or not enough, I can come in here and change the distance, the blur, the spread, and so forth. But let's play with the distance and see, you can go easily go too much with these. I think I'm going to just give it a maybe a 5 and a 5 blur. A little tighter, maybe a 7. See, that's the beauty of this. You can play with this until you get it just the way you want it. See what happens if I give it a 5 spread. Now it makes it a little more than I want. I'm going to give it maybe a 2 spread. That's good. I apply that. All right, let's look at our work. So to save this, we need to first get out of, say, done, because we're inside the design editor for our blog list element. And then I have to save the work I've done in this whole environment. Changes saved. Now I can click preview and see how we're doing. Nice, nice, yep, nice. All right, so it's coming along nicely. I've got these images and I've got the text. There may be too much space in here that I want to take out in the design. So let's go back and see if we can do that. Yeah, let's see if we can get back into editing our design and see if we can adjust some of the spacing here. Like this post content, if I click on that and click on the layout and position, we've got these 15 pixel margins at the top and bottom, which I think we can reduce, if not take out entirely. That's fine. The padding, maybe we don't need the padding to be 30 at the top. Yeah, better. Much better. All right, so that is already starting to look better. Let's save that and preview our work. Let us refresh our preview. Yeah, a little tighter. Nice. All right, so it looks pretty good. You know, we might want a little padding at the top here rather than butting right up against. What do they have? Yeah, they've got a little padding too. So we're going to put a little padding up there for the whole article. We got to go back into our edit design. I'm going to go into the whole post list and try a 20 there. That's it. There it is. And it didn't change this spacing between here. It just changed the top of the entire list element. Nice. Let's hit done. Let's say save work. And so that is what we're looking for. And now I want to check one more thing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Now we can add the date and the comments and things like that also, but I think this is good. Now we might, let's say we wanted to take the category, that little tab there is a category. Can we remove that? Yes, we can. We can do pretty much anything we want. We have to get back into edit design and get in here to this category button. And if we delete it, we'll see that it's gone from every iteration of that. Now, when we did that, we got this, our title got pushed right up against the image. And so we can do that we can fix that padding a couple ways. We can click on the image and give that a bottom margin. And I think that's all, that works fine. So we'll do that. And then we done, save. And let's see the change that made in our preview. See, there it is the old way with the category tab, which we wanted to get rid of. And so we refresh and it's gone. Nice. We want padding under the read more tab. I think we do. I don't think we want that pushed right up against the bottom. It's always nice to have a little space around elements. Back into our edit design, and we will get into our article. And let's just add, What happens if we add a touch of padding at the bottom? I think that's it, but maybe 30. I think that's it. And it happens at all of them. So there it is. That's how you can emulate the design of a website or a landing page you found on the web that you like the look and like the feel of. It inspires you with some creative ideas. So you take that and you emulate that design. We didn't copy the content, we kept our content, but we did emulate the design of that. And maybe the background is a little too close to the background of the website I picked. So I can go in there and change out that wood background, make it a little darker, choose a different wood image. But these are all fine details you can play with once you get inspired and get motivated to emulate the layout design of a professionally designed landing page or website. So I hope this opened your eyes to how, as a non-designer, you can go in and using the design of a professional website that you found that inspires you, that can motivate you to create your own landing page or website. Thanks for watching. This is Jeffrey with MaxSite Web Solutions. And until next time, I wish you all the best with your online business pursuits. Onward and upward.